Welcome to Multifamily Investor Nation, Monday Meetup. Thank you for joining us today. As we get started, if you would enter your contact information into the chat box, just let us know what city and state you're coming in from, and possibly feel free to share any contact info that you might have as well. So phone number, email, company name, any information you'd like to share, go ahead and enter that into the chat box. We're just going to wait for a few more people to arrive, and then we'll be getting started shortly. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining us today. We'll be getting started here in just a minute. As you're coming in, if you would, in the chat box, let us know what city and state you're coming in from. And if you're coming in from any other countries, please let us know that in the chat box as well. A lot of times we do get people from other countries, as far as Ireland, England, Canada, and I believe we had someone from Trinidad on the show not too long ago. So definitely do get some international audience as well. So thank you guys for that. In the chat box, if you go in there now, you'll see some of our contact information. Please feel free to copy the chat box and reach out to your colleagues here. That's what it's all about. We're here to network, learn, and possibly partner up on deals. All right. Thank you for that, Edward. We got anyone else would like to share their contact info? And if not, what we're going to do is we're going to go around. Let me get on camera here. All right, guys. So welcome to Multifamily Investor Nation. I'm your host for today. My name is Carlos D. Reinoso. I'm a co-organizer for this group. And the way we start the group usually is with introductions. So we go around the Zoom room, if you will, and everyone gives us a quick introduction about themselves and what they're currently doing in multifamily. If you're not currently in multifamily but looking to get started, that's fine. Just let us know what you're currently doing professionally. And yeah, so if you want, we're going to go ahead and get started. Whoever would like to go ahead and introduce themselves, please go ahead and get started with your introduction, and we'll get started with whoever unmutes first. So as soon as I see your screen unmuted, we'll go ahead and let you go first. So thank you so much, Jose. If you would let us know a little bit about you and what you're currently doing in the multifamily space.
Of course. Thanks for the meeting. Yeah, my name is Jose. Currently, I'm from Miami and doing business in Central Florida and North Florida, also out of state, Atlanta, Texas, Arizona, North Carolina. And yeah, right now I'm an acquisition and disposition manager of I have a partnership, so I'm the acquisition disposition manager right now.
Awesome. Congrats. And you said you're originally from Florida. I'm originally from Florida. What part?
In Miami.
Miami. Yeah, you did mention that.
What about you?
That's awesome. Yeah, Miami Lakes originally. Okay. So yeah, it's really cool to have people here from Miami and joining us. I really appreciate that. So thank you for sharing that.
I actually have a real estate meetup tomorrow if you want to attend. We are pretty close. It's tomorrow. I can send you the link like after the meeting. It's in Meetup actually, in Bigger Pockets. So if you want to join.
That would be great. Yeah, I'm definitely a huge fan of Bigger Pockets, so that sounds cool.
Nice.
Yeah, and and I appreciate that as well, Jose. I noticed you did share your contact info, so I'll definitely be reaching out. And just so you guys know, when you do give us your contact info, especially your email address, someone from Multifamily Investor Nation and or passiveinvesting.com or myself will reach out to you in reference to, just getting to know you a little bit better and possibly seeing about collaborating on some deals, either A, as a passive investor, or B, as a general partner as well. So I appreciate you guys sharing that. Go ahead. Did you have something else you wanted to share?
No, I'm good. Thank you, Carlos.
No, thank you, Jose. I really appreciate that. And NS is your screen name. NS, would you like to? Oh, Eddie, actually, Edward, you're unmuted. So if you would, Edward, please go next.
Yeah, hi, gentlemen. My name is Ed, and in the Atlanta area, just wanted to evaluate the market, see if this was a good time. I know it's a good time somewhere all the time, but to see if what's happening for my neighborhood.
Right on. And what do you currently do professionally? Are you already an investor or?
No, I'm retired. Yeah.
Nice, nice. Congratulations on that. That's always good. I would think, right?
That's right.
Cool, cool. And are you looking to like get started? What's your experience level, if you would, Edward? Ed.
No, I've had a few single family properties.
Got it.
That's all. Getting ready to sell my last one. Yeah,
Okay.
but,
And are you thinking maybe starting in multifamily now and join in with the economies of scale?
it's
Or
a
which-
possibility. It's a possibility. Yes. I want, yeah, see what's out there.
That sounds good. Okay, cool. It's good to know because a lot of times we do come across, I just had one come across my desk. It was a 17 unit here in Atlanta, actually, Atlanta proper. So I always like to get kind of like a feel of what my viewers or my audience are looking for in case I do come across a property that fits your criteria. I could go ahead and email it to you and, you know, shoot you an email with more info. So thanks for sharing that.
All right. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you. And NS, would you like to go ahead and introduce yourself as well? I see that you are unmuted, so if you would, please go ahead.
Hi, I'm Nikki Stewart. I am from Florida also. I'm in Bradenton, so that's like next to Sarasota, if you don't know what Bradenton is. I'm a total newbie. I'm just trying to gain some knowledge about this subject. I recently just moved to a remote job so that I can house hack easier. So that was kind of my first step. And now it's just to really soak up knowledge about this and learn from anyone that I can.
That sounds great. Thank you for that, Nikki. And what are you currently doing professionally, you said?
I am a special effects artist and I also do marketing.
Cool. Special effects artist. Cool. So that would be like for movies and stuff or commercial or videos or?
It's the same thing that people do for movies, but I do it for medical dummies. So it just looks like lifelike mannequins.
Nice. Medical dummies. Yeah, it's kind of funny that you mentioned the medical dummies because our founder, Dan Handford of Multifamily Investor Nation, he started with plastic, what's it called? Like life size,
Like a mannequin?
like, yeah, like organs and stuff. So medically, I forgot the terminology right now, but it's, you know, it's supposed to be just like human parts, if you will. And as a doctor, that's one of the other branches that he used to have. So it's pretty cool that you mentioned that. It's you know, you
That
definitely
sounds,
have.
sorry,
Go ahead.
was he in Florida? That does sound like something I did before.
Yeah, well, actually, yeah, they do send all their parts nationwide. So yeah, they're a major corporation that sells anatomically correct body parts is what it is.
Oh, well, if it happens to be Sendaver, I worked there. That's a place I used to work. So maybe we knew each other.
Yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be cool.
Cool.
Yeah, and so thank you for joining us. Thank you everyone actually for joining us today. Thank you for participating and sharing your information. So everybody here is either from Florida or Georgia today, and some of you may not feel comfortable getting on camera. So I understand that. I get that. So we're going to continue on. What we're going to do is I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about myself. I promise to be brief. And what we'll do now is start sharing the screen. And I'm going to go ahead and do you guys see my screen right here? It should say negotiating and submitting your first multifamily offer. All right, cool. So yeah, that's the theme for today is negotiating and submitting your first multifamily offer. Really cool topic. We get a lot of people interested in this particular subject line. and with good reasons, because everybody's either A, looking to close on their first deal, or B, find out how to close on their first deal, or C, find out tips and tricks to close on future deals. So if you're here for that purpose, you're definitely in the right place. If you guys can see on my screen, MFIN Con, it's going to take place June 23rd through the 25th in Charlotte, South Carolina. And basically, as you can see here, we have 3 awesome guests that are going to be joining. This will be the first Multifamily Investor Nation conference or summit that's actually live and in person. So as you can see, we have awesome guests starting in the middle, ladies first with Barbara Corcoran. To her left, we have Shaquille O'Neal, awesome, not only basketball player, but tremendously awesome business person. You know, he owns insurance companies. He's gotten into investing in multifamily, and all around just a great business person. And also we have Jocko Willink, which is also, he's a Navy SEAL and has written 2 books. I've read both of them. Highly recommend the books. They're basically books on discipline and stuff to help you succeed in your business. So I highly recommend his books. And let's see. So here's a little bit more about me. So I'm a co-organizer for this group, Multifamily Investor Nation, here in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm also the founder and CEO of Canis Major Investment Capital, which is basically my investment firm. We're doing the same thing you guys are aspiring to do, which is, you know, invest in multifamily syndications. And speaking of which, I'm also a managing partner, general partner, and capital raiser. And we were currently raising capital on a 240 unit 506B offering in San Antonio. And yeah, and I'll be investing passively in my first deal coming up soon. I'm just looking for that next good deal to come up. And I'm looking to invest with passiveinvesting.com team. So you know, definitely, if you're interested in getting started, I would highly recommend to start passively. The reason why is because when you start passively, you get access to the operating memorandum, the private placement memorandum, and a lot of the documentation that you wouldn't otherwise have access to. Mentioning San Antonio, I will be in the Houston area from this coming week, June 11th through the 15th. If you're in Texas or you're thinking of visiting, I'd love to meet you. I know a lot of times we do have guests from Texas here. So I'd love to meet you. And then from the 16th through the 21st, we're going to be in between San Antonio and Austin. And again, if you're in the area of June 11th through the 21st, I would definitely like to meet you there. So hopefully we could meet. And also I plan to do more future meetings here in Georgia in person. So what we're going to possibly start doing is once a month meet in person, and once a month continue with the virtual meetup. So hopefully you guys will join us for that. I'm also the author of the book, Selling Secrets You Can't Afford to Miss. It's a book that I wrote during the pandemic, and it was just a way to give back to the single family industry that has been really great to me. Let me see here. See if you could see a little, here's my copy of the book. My book, Selling Secrets You Can't Afford to Miss. Since there is a background, it's hard to see it with the green screen, if you will, or with a background image. but here's my book. Again, Selling Secrets You Can't Afford to Miss. I've been recently interviewed on the Best Real Estate Investing Advice Ever podcast with Joe Fairless and Ash Patel. Here on my left, you see Ash, and on my right, you see me smiling as big as I can. And here was the actual interview. You can still catch it on Joe Fairless's podcast. The episode is JF or Joe Fairless 2640. And the topic, my topic was 5 tips to boost your online network and find investors with yours truly, Carlos D. Reinoso. Excuse me for a second while I take a quick sip. Okay, thank you for that. As we go along too, guys, if there's any questions, please feel free to pause me. Feel free to jump in and ask any questions you might have. But yeah, as far as this meetup, this podcast, you can still catch it. Just go to the Joe Fairless show and put Ash Patel with Carlos Reinoso, and you'll be able to see that meetup as well. On the last summit, which was here in January, this was virtual for Multifamily Investor Nation. I was the guest moderator on the panel for raising capital and finding money for your deals. On that panel, we had people like Timothy Lyons, Chris Larson, Whitney Sewell, and a lot of other experienced investors that are also syndicators and also passive investors as well in their own deals. Okay, guys, as you were coming in, we asked that you please share your email and any contact information that you might have. Everyone who's done so will get a webinar video on how to get started in multifamily. That's a free video, and it's our gift to you just for showing up and sharing your email address. So thank you for that. Also, please feel free to check me out on YouTube. My YouTube channel is Carlos D. Reinoso for more videos on how to get started in multifamily. Please like and subscribe and leave me a nice comment if possible. It does help my algorithm. And then in my YouTube channel, you'll also be able to catch future episodes to get more acquainted with our meetup, Multifamily Investor Nation, and past topics that we've covered as well. Last month's topic was on performing due diligence on your multifamily deal. We got a lot of great responses on that, a lot of a great turnout. So definitely check us out there. You could like and subscribe, possibly leave us a comment would be great. Follow me on LinkedIn and all social media as well. Again, the Investor Nation Summit is coming up June 23rd through the 25th. That's basically Thursday through Saturday. Yeah, Thursday through Saturday. And you could go to www.mfinsummit.com or mfin.con as in conference, C-O-N as in Nancy. But feel free to use this link right here, mfinsummit.com. Use my promo code CANIS and you'll save $200 off the price of admission. Or you could also use a promo code MEETUP and you could also save $200 off the price of admission. Again, this conference in June is live in person. And again, you'll have Shaquille O'Neal, Barbara Corcoran, and Jacob Willink as well. Okay, guys, if you look on the screen right now, you see strategic partner membership. I highly recommend this membership. I am a member myself. I started recommending it so often, and I would get so many great reviews on it that I ended up joining. And let me tell you, I love it so far. It's been super helpful as far as helping with underwriting, helping meet other investors that are, like the investors to analyze deals, finding partners there. Just anybody who's interested in multifamily, and is willing to take it seriously enough to invest money in this partnership is there. And again, a lot of the people that are there are members of other meetups, of other mastermind groups, are experienced investors, and I highly recommend it. It does cost a premium. But if you use my promo code, you could save money, and it's right here in gray or in teal or kind of greenish color, and you could save money, and you're also going to learn a truckload. The instructor, David Monroe, is also the CCIM instructor. If you guys have heard of CCIM, it is a designation for professional real estate personnel. And it's also a great place to learn how to analyze property and how to analyze the markets as well. So again, I highly recommend it. There is a 30-day money back guarantee. Definitely worth it, and a lot less expensive than most gurus you'll see out there. I would say it's at least 20% less than the least expensive program out there. Yes, guys, and stick around till the end. We'll have more networking opportunities. Sometimes we have people coming in during the chat, so please stick around for that. And let me see here. And yeah, without further ado, we're going to go ahead and jump into the content. I'm going to pause for a quick second and just ask, show of hands, has anyone here invested in any properties more than one unit? So it could be a duplex, triplex, a 4-unit, a 5-unit, or above. Anyone? If you would, just raise your hand or let us know in the chat box. Okay, give me just a second. So I'm going to check out the chat box. Okay, thank you. Okay. All right, I appreciate that. Thank you for sharing that information. And bear with me while I let more guests into our show. Thank you. Thank you for joining us today. Right now, we're in the process of sharing the content, and we're just getting started. Elaine, thank you so much for joining us today. We will have another chance for you to introduce yourself, as well as network in the breakout rooms as well. So I hope you'll stick around to the end. So negotiating and submitting your first multifamily offer. Personally, I love this content, this topic, because there's a lot of nuances that if you're not paying attention, you could miss out on. But if you get this right, what'll end up happening is you'll have a good structure for not only your single family deals, but multifamily deals to come. And basically it's going to help out in just any type of deals that you invest. So I hope you guys pay attention, because there's a lot of great information here. So we're going to start with before the LOI, which is the letter of intent. Then we're going to jump into the LOI, and then negotiating to get the deal, and buyer call strategies. And lastly, we're going to talk on the waiting period. So before the LOI, you want to have an established relationship with a transactional attorney for writing, reviewing documents quickly. So what does that mean, really? What that means is you don't want to show up with a contract in hand and all of a sudden reach out to an attorney and say, hey, I have a contract, I have a property under contract, I want to close tomorrow, or I want to close as soon as possible. That closing attorney is going to say, and you are? And how can I help you? And, how are you just reaching out to me now? And the reason why is because they're going to need ample time to get to know you and what you're looking to do in your multifamily business. But B, on top of that, they also, you want to establish a relationship. And for those who don't know, real estate has always been known to be a location business, right? So people would say location, location, location. But I'll go one step further, and I'll guarantee you that there's more to real estate, and it's also a relationship business. You want to raise capital, you need to raise relationships. You need to start relationships. You need to get to know these investors. You want to negotiate and submit your first multifamily offer, have a closing attorney on your payroll, or at least that you've already established a relationship. So when the opportunity does come, you're prepared and ready to go. You want to conduct a pre-LOI inspection, and that's going to help you determine if the deal fits your criteria before you even put earnest money down, right? So, you know, before you conduct the inspection is going to be time consuming. It's going to, you know, it's going to be it's going to cost you some money. But more than anything, it's going to be time consuming. So you definitely want to make sure before you jump in to make sure that the deal fits your criteria. One thing I'd like to do is drive to the property, not only to the property, but around the property, in the vicinity and the area. And that gives me a better idea of what's going on in the area. Am I seeing new construction, or am I seeing a lot of empty stores and buildings and apartments, right? I want to see how the neighborhood is either in migrating, where people are moving in, or are people moving out. So that's one of the pre-LOI things you want to do, is drive the area, drive the property. And then you want to inspect the property, or hire a third party and company to help you inspect the property. You also want to pre-underwrite the deal, just to see if the numbers are anywhere close to working for you. Obviously, make sure the deal makes financial sense. Now that you know the condition of the property, and then you also want to get what's called a pricing guidance. So a pricing guidance is basically you talking to either the broker on the deal, the listing agent on the deal, or directly with the seller, and asking them, what's the whisper price? What is the price guidance? What is the exact price that the seller is willing to accept, or the lowest lowball offer that the seller is willing to accept, and still move forward with the contract? And so that's what you want to get ahead of time. Excuse me for just a second. So again, you want to be able to ask either the seller, the broker, or the listing agent what the whisper price is. Then we have the actual LOI. And for those who came in a little later, the LOI is the letter of intent. So what is the LOI? Just so you guys know, it's non-binding. So there's no need for the other parties to sign off. Okay. And it's basically just letting the other side know what the terms of the contract will be. So it's non-binding. Okay. And it explains the term of the deal. It's non-binding for both parties. And it basically just helps you understand the terms of the contract. So in the LOI, you'll see things such as the purchase price, the amount of the amount of days or the period for the due diligence period. Any other terms such as any extensions you might require, the time limit to close, closing attorney information, purchase price, earnest money. A lot of times in the LOI, you'll put if your earnest money is going hard, and we're just going to get into more of that in just a second. But the letter of intent is basically where you're going to find the terms of your offer. I'm going to pause for a second, give some time for any questions. If anybody has any questions about the letter of intent, please let me know now. And then if not, we're going to go ahead and continue on. But I'm going to pause and give you guys some time. Cool. Edward had a duplex. Cool. I'd like to hear a little bit more about that when we jump into the breakout rooms, Edward. So I appreciate you sharing that information. All righty. See here. Okay. Now we're going to jump into negotiating to get the deal. And this is really the best part that's going to get you closest to getting your deal accepted. So you want to be competitive and stand out from the others using such things as the earnest money deposit. And so one of the things that you could do when using the earnest money deposit is what they call going hard on day one. So going hard on day one means that on day one, you're telling the seller, we have, let's say, $100,000 of earnest money that we are willing to put up upfront, okay? Upfront, and it's going hard on day one. That means we do our due diligence and something comes up that the contract, let's say there's a major repair, we're going to have to continue all the way to close, even if we end up losing money on that deal, because we don't want to lose the hard money that we put from day one. You know, and I've seen them as little as $100,000, as much as a total, because they would add up, a total of $500,000 up front in hard money, in earnest money, I should say. So that's one term that you could use to negotiate with the seller. So the seller will be happy to know that, listen, these people are serious. They're putting money up front and they're not, they're risking it basically. So they must be really confident that they're going to be able to close on time. Another thing is the length of the due diligence. So a lot of times you'll see most transactions in multifamily are going to be 90 days. They're going to be stretched out. Due diligence, 30 days, financing 30 days, and maybe a 30-day extension. So if you use terms like, listen, we'll have, instead of 30-day due diligence, we're just going to do a 21-day due diligence, a 30-day financing term, and no additional extensions will be needed. That is a great term that as a seller, the seller is going to be happy to hear, because they're going to say, okay, look, these people have a hard money up front. So I know that they're serious and they're looking to really close on this deal. Two, they're looking to get the deal done quickly. So it's less time that I'm going to spend on the deal wondering if it's going to qualify or not, or if the buyers are going to qualify or not. And three, they're shortening the time frame by like 30 days. So the seller is going to be really ecstatic about that offer. And these are, you know, some tricks that you could use to make your offer more appealing to the seller. And again, the closing timeline, try to do it within 60 days if possible. Equity, be ready with the money from day one, with the hard money or the rest of the money. So as in multifamily, you guys know you raise capital, right, to purchase bigger deals. So you want to have the equity already raised when you're negotiating, or mostly all the way raised, so that you could also say, listen, we already have a fund of funds, or the money's been raised and we're ready to go. So you don't have to wait on us. All we're waiting is for the lender to give us the go ahead, and we're ready to close. As soon as we get the go ahead from the lender, we might be able to close, and possibly close before the 60-day mark. And passive investing has been known to close in 51 to 59 days. So it's definitely possible. And overall, you want to think about your offer from a seller's perspective. So think of yourself as the seller and think what would make your offer more appealing to the seller. And these are some terms you could use. Obviously, an offer that's above asking is going to be super appealing. So that's another thing to consider. And just keep in mind overall what's going to make the deal better for the seller. As long as you keep that mentality in mind, you're going to be putting in your absolute best offers and you have a better chance of your offers being accepted. Excuse me for just a brief moment here. And by the way, we're almost done and we're getting to the part about the buyer call strategies. With the call strategies, this is when the seller's gonna, or sometimes it's the broker, they're gonna reach out to you, the listing agent broker, and they're gonna ask you a few questions. It's kind of like an interview, right? If you will. Basically, they want to know that you're serious about purchasing, that you're not gonna back out of the deal, that you got hard money because you're very serious about purchasing this multifamily building. And they're going to want to ask you some questions, and they don't want you to kind of like dilly-dally about. They want to see just how confident you are with your answers and making sure that you know exactly where you're at and what the answers to their questions are going to be. And they want to know where your equity is coming from. They want your they might have a questionnaire for you to fill out. They want to know who your lender is, what your track record might be, who you've closed with in the past, who your firm is. They're going to want to research you online, on LinkedIn, social media. And most importantly, they're going to want to research your track record and see if A, you've closed on these deals, but B, how was the experience when you closed on the deals? Because as a listing agent myself and as an investor, I've been involved in deals, and when the person is kind of when I'm asking them questions, I'm kind of feeling them out and seeing how serious they are. So I'm asking basic questions, but these questions are kind of opening my eyes about the buyer and just how qualified and ready they are to purchase. So be ready for those questions. Have your answers written down. Be ready to answer on the fly, right? Because sometimes the questions will catch you off guard, and just know your stuff, know your closing timeline. If possible, have an offering summary or a pitch deck ready to go, and previous deals that you could share with the seller as well. After the seller has asked not only yourself as a buyer investor, but all the other interested parties and other offers, agents who have presented the offers, they're going to have a waiting period. And in that waiting period is the time for them to kind of look over and compare all the offers and all the terms in the offers that they have. And at that point, they're going to come to you. And at some point, sometimes it takes a few days, sometimes it may take a little longer, a few weeks. They're going to let you know what they've decided. And sometimes it's not the final call. So sometimes there's a best and final. Sometimes there's a second best and final. And it's basically the seller kind of comparing offers, and they might be really close or their terms might be very similar, but the seller is looking to see which is the best one and which one is more convincing that they could close and give the seller the best profits and less risk and close the soonest. So these are things to keep in mind. Thank you guys for your time. That's negotiating and submitting your first multifamily offer. Next month's topic is going to be finding multifamily investments. Here's a little copy of my business page Right now, we're in the process of raising capital for multifamily deals. We are, like I said, looking to passively invest as well this year. So if you guys do come across multifamily deals of 100 units or more, please reach out to me and my firm. And you could also fill out a questionnaire in this website right here, which is my apartment syndication website. All right, guys, here's my contact information. You could again find me on Facebook as Canis Major Investment Capital, LLC. Also, again, the business page, this one here you guys just saw. Feel free to reach out to me there. And basically just search for Canis Major Investment Capital, and you'll see everything we've got going on right now. This business page is actually under construction. We're adding to the page. We're adding some content. So bear with us, but definitely check us out. And hopefully we could do some business in the very near future.
Hi.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, quick question. You said
Please.
you were looking to invest in properties, and what did you say after that?
Passively and anything 100 units or more.
100 units or more. Oh, okay, perfect.
This is Elaine, right?
Yeah, it is.
Cool.
That's very interesting because we're actually looking to start branching out into investing in bigger properties like that. Right now we're just doing underwriting, but we're definitely going to be working on raising money for operators as well.
Yeah, that sounds cool. And I got your email. I'm definitely going to be reaching back out to you. It's just been a crazy 2 weeks lately. We just had a quick vacation. We went to Florida for like a long weekend, and you know, it's a business vacation. So again, when we're going to Texas, we're going to be meeting up with investors over there. So, you know, kind of been planning for that. It's coming up on the 11th through the 15th. We're going to be in Houston. And then from the 15th or the 16th through the 21st, we're going to be in San Antonio, and I can't think of the other city now. In Austin as well.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. And then, so yeah, but I'm definitely going to reach out, Elaine, because what I heard in the email definitely sounds like something I'm looking to do. I'm definitely interested. And I think we could definitely work well together with what you guys are offering and what my team is offering. I do see that as a definite possibility for both.
That would be wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah,
I was
no.
actually wondering if I had ever even sent you an email, but I'm glad to know that you received it. Okay, great.
Yes, ma'am. Definitely did. So thank you for that.
Yeah, no
And
problem.
yeah, and then so I did also want to reach out to you because you did reach out about any resources. So yeah, I do have some resources that I'm going to be able to share. You know, it's nothing major, but I do have like a due diligence checklist. Basically that one I got,
yeah,
I believe,
those are
yeah,
great.
let me tell you, that one's awesome. And I believe I got that one from Rod Cleef.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know Rod.
Yeah, and he's super thorough. And he shares that one. So it's definitely okay to share. And let me see what else I could find. And by the next time we talk, I'll definitely have something to share with you as well.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
My pleasure, Zane. Thank you. Anyone else have something to share? And if not, we're going to go ahead and jump into the breakout rooms. And, you know, that way you guys can network a little bit further and we could get to know each other a little bit better. Okay. All right. So let me try to push us into the breakout room. Bear with me for a sec. I would have to stop share. Okay, there's my business page. How did it end up here? It's one of my business pages. Oh, cool. It's funny that this came up. If you look right here, this property I'm circling, I hope you guys could see it. Viva Max. This is the property that we were just raising capital on, the 240 unit in San Antonio, Texas. And if you can see, here are some of the pictures of this property. Really beautiful Class B property. Great looking property. It's got great bones. So yeah, it's funny that came up. I just clicked on it by mistake. Let me stop share.